That was a meaty one, my friend Arinos. Hello, all you wonderful, beautiful, and craptastic people. CraptasticJack here, and today we're gonna be talking about why I want the Crew 2 to succeed. Now, let's actually move that out of the way. Now, first things first. Yes, I am at a new setup. I moved my setup, which is where my bed is now, and I moved my setup to here, where my bed used to be. Once I get my fucking green screen up, which I've been saying that I'm gonna be doing for the past, like, what, 3 months now. I'm gonna get that up soon, so don't you worry about that. But that's where that's going. Today we're really gonna be talking about why I want the Crew 2 to succeed. So without further interruptions, let us begin. So we all know that the Crew 2 is in a very piss poor state right now, and I don't think that needs any further explanation, especially if you've been subscribed to the channel for a while. All of my recent Crew 2 videos have just been me ranting and critiquing about the game, but today we're going to be talking about why I want the Crew 2 to succeed. Now, I got a lot of comments in my video, especially that why to save the Crew 2 is dead. People are saying, no need to save the Crew 2, it's already dead, and go to Forza Horizon 4, and really, that's not the type of mentality that I like, you know. I don't want a culture in the racing community where there's only two racing games. There's only two main racing games that we can play. The Crew is one of the big three right now. You have the Crew, Forza, and you have Need for Speed. I consider that the big three. And if we were to lose one of those, and one of the big threes, it would be very detrimental to the community that we all call home here in the racing community. And honestly, this is coming from someone, because I was a huge Crew 1 fan. The Crew 1 was a very rocky roller coaster, especially at the very beginning. It kind of evened out when Wild Run came out, but I really enjoyed the first Crew game, and me and my friends, we all spent hours upon hours just playing that game. It got to the point where I would be playing that game at my old house, and I used to live in a very shitty neighborhood, and I used to live in a shitty neighborhood, and I was playing the Crew 1. Me and Richard, we were doing Wild Run. I think it was because we were trying to grind the F40, because in order to get the F40 at the time, when they introduced it into the Crew 1, you had to get a platinum or more in the summit for that month in order to get it, and we were grinding the hell out of that game. We spent at least maybe 10-12 hours just grinding out the game so we can get that car, to the point where someone involved in a home invasion right down the street got his hand chopped off and was running down the street bleeding out, screaming for help, and I had my window open at the time, but I didn't hear him because I was playing the Crew 2, the Crew 1. I was too busy grinding out the summit. And yes, that actually did happen. There's a bunch of news articles out. It was on like it was on like CNN and everything. But like, I shit you not, that is a true story. That's just how much I was involved in the Crew 1. It was just such a fun game. And the Crew 2 just has none of that. The Crew 2 has nothing, nearly nothing, of what I enjoyed the Crew 1 for. Police pursuits, PvP, the summit, you know? Like, doing all that stuff. Like, being able to create your own races, even though the race editor was kind of shit, you still, like, it was still pretty good. It's still better than nothing. And the Crew 2 has none of that. But at the end of the day, why do I want to see the Crew 2 succeed? I mean, yes, they took away police. That pissed me off. They took away PvP. That pissed me off. They took away factory missions. That pissed me off. The street racing into Crew 2 is shit. It doesn't feel illegal at all. That pisses me off. But they can rebound from this. I was going through a bunch of old videos the other day, and I found a video entitled "Why the Crew is Dying." And that's not talking about the Crew 2. That's talking about the Crew 1, okay? And it's a video of me that I uploaded around May of 2015, talking about how the Crew 1 was dying. And watching it back, I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember half these things, because a lot of them were addressed in Wild Run, which came out a couple months later. So the Crew 1, they were in a kind of a shitty spot, especially at the beginning, but they rebounded with Wild Run. Now, however, they have a whole different DLC policy now with the Crew 2. Instead of getting major updates, we're getting like smaller, like free live service updates. Which, I mean, I have a feeling these updates can be really good, but coming off of Gator Rush was not that good, and it really didn't fix enough of the game. It didn't add enough content into the game to keep people playing. So I'm really very skeptical about this whole update thing. Now, I've already said time before, I'll say it again. The updates between the time between updates for the Crew 1 and for the Crew 2, sorry, are way too sparse. There's way too sparse. Like, and they talked about how they're gonna keep adding new events to already existing disciplines when the game first came out, but it's been like what, nearly 3 months since Gator Rush, and we've had no new content aside from some 2 new cars, one of which is already in the game, but I already made a video talking about that. So really what they need to do is update events. It seems like they're very OCD in the sense that they can't add anything, they can't fix anything unless it's in a monthly update. Like, that seems very weird to me. They can't issue a hotfix for certain things, like the line being missing or the headlights being too dim at night. They can't. It feel like they can't really. They don't want to fix those things unless it's in a major update, so they can say they fixed more stuff in an update. Which really, I mean, this part of this is why the Crew 2 is dying. Like, updates are not coming out fast enough. But I seriously hope. But with our criticism, and this is why I started the whole hashtag save the Crew 2, because I want the Crew 2 to be saved. I want the game to be populated again. I want the game to be a game that I can come on every day and still have a shit ton of fun. Like the Crew 1. I can go on the Crew 1 every single day and still have a shit ton of fun. The Crew 2, I go on for 5 minutes, I drive around, I get bored, I come off, I log on, or either Horizon 4, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, or the Crew. And I don't really want it to be that way. Now, adding PvP is a really good first step to bringing some life back into the game. I'll probably be playing the Crew 2 a lot more when PvP comes out, if it's good, but at the same time, PvP itself is not going to revitalize this game. You also need to add police pursuits, you need to add faction missions, you need to add so many different more types of, of endgame content, because the Crew 1 had so many different avenues of endgame content, but the Crew 2 has none. It just has none. And I really want the game to succeed because I really want there to be another strong competitor to Need for Speed and Forza. I mean, however, I honestly thought the Crew 2 was going to be that, but at the end of the day, it's just not. Now, I really hope that they can rebound from this, because Ubisoft have done that so many times, but that's not even funny, because I'd rather have a game complete at launch than it is added on to at the end of like its life cycle. But again, it's sad that we're gonna have to wait for it, but I really hope that Ivory Tower can get their stick out of their ass and start updating the game a lot more frequently and brings much needed life into the game. And I really, like, again, that kind of rolls back to my point of people saying that the Crew 2 should just die. I don't want that at all. As much as I criticize the game, as much as I criticize Ivory Tower, that's the last thing I want to happen to this game. I want this game to rebound really hard and come back with a great product maybe a year or 2 from now. I mean, I'd much rather have that at launch, don't get me wrong, but it's better than not having any product. And I don't want to see the Crew 2 die a shitty death, which it looks like that's the road it's going down. No pun intended, but yeah, that's really what it seems like the Crew 2 is going down. And if Ivory Tower literally don't step out of their literal ivory tower that they've built around themselves and get their stick out of their ass, then that's exactly what's going to happen, and that's the last thing I want from this game. So again, use the hashtag save the Crew 2. Try to get Ivory's attention, because honestly, like, the Crew 2 needs to rebound, and that's only going to happen if Ivory Tower want to save themselves. This game's only going to be saved if they want to save themselves. There's only so much I can do, there's only so much you can do. If they want to listen to 1 or 2 content creators with so many subscribers who don't really, not even might have the best intentions for the community, that's fine by them, but they're going to fail. That's just straight up. Ivory Tower, again, can only save themselves if they're willing to. You know, they can only save the Crew 2 if they're willing to save themselves. And that's really gonna be, that's pretty much it. I mean, I really want the Crew 2 to be a game that me and my friends can come back on and play for hours upon hours upon hours. Even not necessarily to the point where I'm like oblivious to people running down my street screaming for help, bleeding out, but I mean to the point where like we can get lost in a world like that's like none other, like the Crew 1. And I really want to see that whole like aspect of just being able to cruise around with friends, do the summit, do PvP together, like we had in the Crew 1, just explore the United States, you know. Like, I want that feeling to come back. And if the Crew 2 doesn't shape up really quick, then And then we're going to be shipping out. We're going to be playing Need for Speed 2019. We're going to be playing Forza, because that's where we're already all right. Most of my friends have already shipped out, I mean, of the Crew 2, so yeah, that's that. But do you guys really want the Crew 2 to be saved, or do you think that it should just die a painful, slow death? What do you guys think? Are you going to be coming back to the Crew 2 if they do add PvP or some more in-game content? What are you guys going to be thinking about that? But that's going to be all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see some more craptastic content, be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you don't ever miss an upload. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitch and join my Discord to be able to chat with me and some others. That's all for now, guys. Have a good one.